Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's video is brought to you by Jacob W, who donated to see a Cabal Therapy deck. I think he said Cabal Therapy was one of his favorite cards of all time, and he just wanted to see it in action. And the low-hanging fruit in Legacy for a Cabal Therapy deck is Nick Fit. And I thought, like, I play so much Nick Fit on the channel already, I want to do something different. So my mind then went to things like Zombardment from Ages Past and to like a Mardu Tokens deck, which is what I'm going to try to do today. So, where to begin? My general idea started with Young Pyromancer and Monastery Mentor, just as like iconic legacy token producers. And my idea was to play like Thoughtseize, Cabal Therapy, and then Urza's Bobble so that I can actually look at cards in my opponent's hand to make the Cabal Therapies better. And the deck started to build itself from there. I wanted to have Dragon Rage Channeler to fuel my graveyard and just be another redundant thing that takes advantage of casting instants and sorceries. I wanted a few more one-drop threats, and so I'm playing 2 Ragavan to round things out. If they weren't $125 each, I might be playing 4, but I'm not sure that 4 fits the deck perfectly. I'm very good at paving the way for Ragavan, but Ragavan, like Ragavan is not an instant or sorcery, right? So if I want to lean fully into this token sub-theme and go wide, Ragavan doesn't necessarily go with the go wide plan. Ragavan is a plan in and of itself, which is fine, and that's kind of why I settled on 2 of them. And then, sort of in the rest of the shell, I have a few more things that have some instants in sorcery synergy, namely Bedlam Reveler, which gets cheaper for each instant and sorcery card in my graveyard, and Faithless Looting to, like, number 1, throw some of this flashback stuff into the graveyard, number 2, like, make Bedlam Reveler and these other, prowess and instant and sorcery thingies better. So this is kind of the main deck plan. The sideboard plan kind of goes in 2 primary directions. Direction number 1, which is the right column, is the combo direction. I added a couple more pieces of discard and then a full playset of surgical extraction. Plan against combo is take the win condition, extract the win condition, win the game somehow afterwards. And then plan number 2 is the fair game plan. And there I have like Savine's Reclamation and a couple of different Planeswalkers in order to grind, and then a handful of additional removal spells so that I can take out some of the discard that might not be great against decks that are playing to the board. This is a completely untested idea. Decks like this exist in Legacy in other places, in ages long since past. We'll see how it goes. I kind of threw together the mana base and the sideboard without giving it too much thought. My head's kind of all over the place right now in other matters, which you've probably figured out by, my prefaces at the beginning of the videos for the last week. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Please consider subscribing to the channel for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage actions 7 days a week. And if you are subscribed already, please throw me a like. It's the easiest way to support my content for free. If you want to try this out, the deck list is available via Top Deck in the video description, as is my donation information and all that jazz. Business over. Let's get to battling. Alright, our game 1 opening hand immediately shows us the difference between blue and non-blue cantrips. Faithless Looting here, like, playing that in order to get my second land drop in order to work towards this, I don't think is great. I think I'd rather mulligan and just start with a couple of lands. Nope. Rude. That said, I think this hand is considerably better than the previous one. I'll toss back one of my Monastery Mentors, and we'll call this okay. I get to go, like... Plateau question mark? Maybe Plateau, Dragon Rage Channeler, into Urza's Bobble, do some Surveil, then cast Faithless Looting. Alright. There is an imminent danger. Now I might just have to get a mountain so I do not get wastelanded immediately, because that would just fully knock me out of the game. Alright, it has resolved. I get to Surveil. Is a Thoughtseize. That will go to my graveyard. That is not a land. I will go ahead and look at a card in your hand. Oh, there's a True Name Nemesis over there. That's a card I sure don't have answers to in game 1, and that sure isn't a land. I mean, I just am obligated to take this trade. I cannot let the Ragavan go wild. Oh. Well. Okay. Ragavan, Standstill, True Name Nemesis. I am just going to play the long game here and fix my atrocious mana situation. If my opponent plays Urza Saga and screws me, like, so be it, but I am totally good with playing Draw Go here. Nice, nice. Oh yeah. I am making land drops and opponent is missing land drops. This is gravy. I am so good with this situation. Okay, so now is the point where I might have to discard some stuff. Am I good at just going here? Honestly, I don't think I am yet. I think I'm close. But I can totally just, like, discard this Faithless Looting and build up a little bit more. I'd like 4 or more lands when I start going. If I can just, like, play towards getting exactly what I want. Oh yeah, I am good with continuing to discard Faithless Lootings for potential future value. Okay. That probably means it's go time. Ooh. I can use the Lightning Bolt at my opponent's end step. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna discard a Faithless Looting. And I'm going to end of turn Lightning Bolt them. And make them crack the standstill on their turn and discard a bunch of cards and then, like, not really actually give them any value beyond selection for their Faithless Looting. Yeah, so, like, they're at 11 cards and they're going to discard a bunch of cards here. And any mana they use towards dealing with my stuff is mana that doesn't go towards activating that Urza Saga. Ooh, buddy. I want a Badlands. Then I'm going to want a Scrubland. Sure. Like, that Stifle keeps you from getting a Construct. I'm so good with that. I guess now I will go Dragon Rage Channeler. Urza's Bobble, do the Surveil thing. Land can go on top. Go for a random card in your hand. You have a Brainstorm. I will Cabal Therapy you. And again, this land that I know I want can stay on top. Oh, just going for the Lightning Bolt, huh? Sure. Go on top. I'm 100% taking that True Name Nemesis. I know the Brainstorm is great. The Brainstorm is very, very good here. Alright. So I get rid of the True Name. Brainstorm, Retrofitter Foundry, Murktide. Okay. Cool. We'll call that a turn. I get another card with Urza's Bobble here, so I'll draw that Scrub land. We'll see if my opponent wants to do any Urza Saga stuff. I'm guessing, yeah, that they're just going to get like a Soul Guide Lantern. Not that big of a deal. The Murktide region is kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest, though. Yep. Okay, they're just going to nuke my graveyard immediately. Womp womp, basically. Alright. Young Peasy. Cabal Therapy. Target you. We're gonna always yield to that. I will name Brainstorm. Oh my gosh, I hit. Oh man, and they have 2 Ponders. Delicious. Delicious. Alright. Good stuff. The Murktide Regent is unfortunately a very swift clock. What a draw. I need a Swords to Plowshares. I will probably win this game if I find one, but I need a Swords to Plowshares. I get 1 draw. Get him. I'll take 8. Alright, I will get a redraw. I am not going to play around specifically Spell Pierce. Just don't think I get to play around stuff. Because if I do Stifle, sure. If I do play around anything, like, it makes it so that I am less able to just go and play to the board strongly enough to actually win the game, should I do the thing that matters. Cabal Therapy does not do it here. I am dead to Murktide Regent, unfortunately. GG's. Alright. I want things that can answer Murktide. And I probably want stuff that can bring my stuff back and stuff that can grind. My opponent is trying to, like, awkwardly play a control role. I think I less want things like Thoughtseize and more want things like this. How much therapy do I want? Because it's good with the token producers. But generally speaking, I don't want to be attacking my opponent's hand because of like things like Urza Saga and Standstill being the primary ways that they generate value. So what does it look like if I board all of this out? How much of this does that get me? All of it with one slot to spare? So do I want to keep some therapy, or do I want to like board in another Prismatic Ending or Zealous Persecution? I'll board in another Prismatic Ending. I don't know if this approach is right. Like, it might be correct to keep all the discard. Well, not all the discard. It might be correct to keep the Cabal Therapies because of the potential value it offers. This is fine. Alright. Play the Dragon Rage Channeler. Urza's Bauble. Mountain can go to Graveyard. And let's convert this back into a card. Alright, opponent has a Stifle. That is my second basic mountain. They were both next to each other. Right? Ultra Ponder. Now I get to like fetch without having to worry about Stifle, which is good. Lightning Bolt. Sure. Fetch. Plateau, probably, given the way this hand looks. Cast Plateau. Do a Faithless Looting. I do not have a sorcery in Graveyard yet, so I think I am good with throwing that in there. Ooh, Savine's Reclamation is a great value play to discard. 5 to flashback? 5 to flashback. Let's discard like that, and Lightning Bolt maybe? Now I've got a 3/3. I will just crash on in. It attacks for me. So convenient. Wasteland is a bit annoying. I might be tight enough on mana here where I just want to fire off this Lightning Bolt. Got some interesting timing choices from my opponent. Put that in the graveyard. I don't have the mana to cast it currently. Nice. Stifle. Plateau. Probably Plateau. A young Pyromancer. Sure. You got afterwards. Lightning Bolt is annoying. But I have some great inevitability coming. Alright. Not really what I'm looking for. But it works towards eventually casting the Savine's Reclamation with Flashback, which we'll get back, presumably. Alright, sure. Which will get back, presumably, a Mentor and a young Pyromancer. So I'm good with it. Alright. Do I want to flashback Faithless Looting to turn this into a different land? Not really. I'm just gonna land a pass. Sure. This is all fine. I'm gonna put tension on my opponent's mana and see if I can make them not activate Urza's Saga by just holding up the ability to fetch and get to 5 mana. Or I can just like fetch, throw away the land, and do it that way. Well, that's a nuisance. Sure. I'll just pass the turn here. I get to fetch for free if my opponent makes an Urza Saga construct token. Fetch. Continue to get plateaus if they're lucky. No, Scrubland's probably better because it gives me black, black, and white, white. Alright. So that's all I'm going to do, I think. Now I get to get cute. Alright. Destroy target artifact, 2 damage to any target. Destroy target artifact, 2 damage to any target. 1, 2, 3. Now the Urza Saga still is better than the Culligan's Command in that like my opponent is going to get like a Retrofitter Foundry or some shit that I'm going to have to clean up with Prismatic Ending, but it is what it is. Yeah. That's fine. That's not fine. This is probably the point where I need to flashback this Faithless Looting and just try to make something more of this. Nope. Yuck. Let's sack the Bauble, take a redraw. I think we're just going to lose to the second Urza Saga. Okay, sure. I've got a Lightning Bolt for my trouble. Alright. We can work with this. Oh, that's annoying. Yep, that happens. Yeah. Alright. So, my opponent's gonna go grab, presumably, Retrofitter Foundry. I have to exile it with Prismatic Ending, and my opponent gets value out of it. So the real unfortunate thing here is that when my opponent makes this creature, this becomes a 3/3, so Dash Ragavan is not a reasonable play for the turn. My opponent also just has Concede. I'm not beating the third Urza Saga. Just not happening. Round 2 opening hand has a lot of removal, but no real plan. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. This has a plan. It has no threat, but it has a plan. I want to keep this and throw back one land. Probably Plateau, since it's not producing black, and my first 2 lands just have to produce black. Let's look like Reanimator to start with, shall we? Oh, I'm so good with this. The Wasteland's a little annoying. I get rid of the Thalia. And I'm gonna get Wastelanded. Then I'm gonna get rid of the Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze. Sure. And my opponent will fetch with Verdant, play a Mom, and I'll bolt it, and... Oh, that is your first spell of the game, huh? Sure. So go grab your white source, cast Mom, I'll bolt Mom, and then hopefully I'll draw a threat. Awkward. Very awkward. Wish I could take the value here. No such luck. Red-white, Plateau. I'm actually most likely to need red. Yeah, like my current situation. Okay. I have 2 card types in graveyard. Alright, and this will be forest into Thalia, I presume. Alright, and now I'm out of information about my opponent's hand. Get a Badlands and just kind of round out the color combination here. And I will call this good. I think I want to keep making my land drops against Thalia. I don't think I just want to, like, immediately jam looting and try to turn this into a 3/3 or anything. And I don't think I want to keep the Badlands to loot it away. Yeah. I have so much removal in my deck. We sure as hell better find one. Otherwise I might just get Cauldron and die. Jete, sure. So I can cast Faithless Looting, and then maybe attack for 3, and then get the Jete out of their hand. This is not really where I want to be. Loot. I'll go to Graveyard. Prismatic Ending is excellent. Discard these. I'm still a 1/1. Target you. Pay 1. Sacrifice my threat. Womp womp. Name Jete. Questing Beast and Once Upon a Time. Alright. So my opponent has no castable cards currently. That's the good news. JK. I take 3. Prismatic Ending targeting Thalia. Let's do, I guess, white and black. This is 2 different colors. X is 0. That works to remove Thalia. And now I can Thoughtseize that Questing Beast away, and it is totally worth the 2 life. We'll see if opponent wants to cast the Once Upon a Time here, or if they want to wait. Yep. I will take the Questing Beast, leaving you with Once Upon a Time. I think it is correct to wait on the Once Upon a Time until my end step. The reason being, if they Once Upon a Time and don't take a land, I could potentially leave them with the Questing Beast in hand that they can't cast. Oh, a Hex Drinker is scary. Yikes. If they draw a land, they're just going to have a Hexproof Hex Drinker. I am very baffled by that play. But I guess that's fine. Sure. I'm going to lose to a Hex Drinker with protection from instants in all likelihood. Zealous Persecution is going to be real hot in this match. Yeah. Alright. Sure. Alright. I have a new young Pyromancer. You know what? Don't love this. Guess I trade with you. Go to 1. I don't really know if I have outs. Let's concede. Alright. I think I'm going to board similarly to the last match, where I focus on things that impact the board rather than on things that impact the hand. So this puts me to 61. I guess let's sort this by mana value. And I'll need to make 1 cut. Like trim a bauble? Know with a little more certainty what my opening hand looks like. Oh shoot, I missed a Swords of Plowshares. Okay, if I need to make 2 cuts, what am I doing? Just like not a Faithless Looting matchup? Because I'm not looking for anything specific, I'm just looking for cards. Sure. Alright. Yikes. It has to be a mulligan due to mana. I'm gonna toss the looting. I'll just take a redraw with Bobble and hope I find either a removal spell or a creature that turns this into a truly keepable hand. Alright, my opponent has an Endurance. That is not the sort of draw that I am looking for. Mana into... that'll be a Dryad Arbor. I might just have to trade Zealous Persecution 1 for 1 for this Dryad Arbor to keep my opponent set back in terms of mana development, since my hand is so slow. I do not like doing this, because like this is so much better later. But I don't know. Maybe I need to greed more than I'm currently greeding. It just sucks if they play Endurance in this turn cycle. If they play a couple other small dorks, like it's so good for me. I can get 2 basics here and then just play a Badlands. Or I can just like lean into the fact that I'm getting wastelanded and just get 2 different white sources. The fact that I want double red pips makes it a little more likely that I just want to get multiple dual lands here. Go like Plateau, Shrubland, Badlands. I just try to stick a Mentor. And then kind of see where my opponent goes. Mentor goes wide of Endurance, which is useful. Yeah. Goodbye to my graveyard. Yeah, boo. They out of swords. Fuck. Talk about the just absolute perfect series of cards. I think now that I'm this far behind, I have to begrudgingly cash this in as a 1 for 1. I am at least 2 turns, probably 3 turns in all likelihood away from actually casting that. I'll go to 13. And my opponent has a Green Sun as follow-up, which is going to be a Hex Drinker. What the fuck is your timing there? Like, you missed a point of damage. Whatever. Goodbye, Endurance. Okay. At the Jitte. I'm just going to lose to that if I miss here, I think. Not technically a miss. There's a world where my opponent doesn't have another land, and then I can draw a removal spell, keep them from getting the Jitte equipped, and go from there. A Ranger, sure. I can bounce that Savannah, replay the Savannah, untap a Noble Hierarch. Yep. My Swords of Plowshares. Oh my gosh. Unless this is a Caldera. Nope. You had 2 mana, you could just fucking cast the Jitte and attack for 2 damage with the Stoneforge Mystic. Alright. Whatever. I lose to them anyway. GG's. Alright, round... what is this? 3? Opening hand is pretty solid. It's turn 1 Thoughtseize, into turn 2 Ragavan and Thoughtseize, unless something here makes me really want to change. Blazing Rootwalla. And I need to Thoughtseize still. We were playing against Madness, and if my opponent has an LED, I just need to take it. Okay, I will take your careful study. Alright. Oh, a Cabal Therapy, nice. I can Cabal Therapy Blazing Rootwalla and get 2 of them! No? Bad idea? Bad idea? Alright, maybe we won't do that. I can Cabal Therapy a hollow one, though. Alright. So let's go ahead and Cabal Therapy hollow one. And I think there is an urgency here, so I don't think I get to like take a turn off to Young Pyromancer. Alright. Hollow one done for. And then the discard doesn't make a lot of sense after that. So let's just go Badlands into Monkey. We will not be sacrificing Monkey to Cabal Therapy. But thank you for the prompt, Magic Online. I do appreciate the reminder. Alright, Coliseum. Sure, I'll be taking that damage. Are you pumping? You're not pumping. Okay, you're just playing another one to serve as a blocker for Ragavan. That's totally fine. Removal spell? Mentor is pretty sick. Do I want to trade Ragavan for a Blazing Root Walla? Not really. But I might just do it. It's a little awkward. They don't like have instants and sorceries to start fueling some of this other stuff, and I don't just want to like potentially take 6 damage from them in the next turn cycle. Maybe I'll just hold my Ragavan back defensively. What's missing? Plateau is missing. Alright. Mentor is a go. I also don't really want to put cards into my opponent's graveyard, if I'm being honest. Like, if I can keep them away from 7, I'm actually in okay shape. Like, I poked the hole in the hand by getting rid of the Careful Study. Oh, there's another one. Now my opponent might be able to do some stuff. They'll get a Basking Root Walla for free. Oh, that's an Anger. Quite good. Alright, there's a Lizard. Alright, that's all the information that I know as far as like stuff in their hand goes. Am I good with the trade? I'd rather trade while attacking and trade with this if I am going to make a trade. Yeah, that's fine. They're gonna pump and I'll take 4. And I'm at 12. Are we Thought Season? I'm probably Thought Season. Just a little awkward. Pyro. Thoughtseize. And I need to click Always Yield a whole bunch of times. Alright, there's my creatures and my prowess. Oh, nice. I will take the Anji's Ravager, which they do not currently have mana to Madness. Alright, now we'll Cabal Therapy and target you. I'll sacrifice an Elemental. Really? Okay, there we go. Now I'll name their Anger. That is their last card. I think. Oh. It's a little awkward because, like, the graveyard count matters. But good with it. This is 6 in graveyard. And then my opponent can chump block or trade with Ragavan. And put a 7th card into graveyard so that a Cephalid Coliseum is now active. But I think I'm good with it. Like, I push 4 damage, and I have prowess threats versus my opponent's fire-breathing threats. Opponent's Cephalid oh, fuck. Anyway, opponent's Cephalid Coliseum has to be pretty good here for me to, like, really be in trouble. The LED enables some of the things like Anji's Ravager that can really be truly terrifying here. Because, like, the Anji's Ravager will have haste, and then it turns into an Ancestral. But opponent could also just end up with nothing here. Oh, you don't need to do that in response. Oh, you just wait for the Madness trigger. Yeah, so you can respond right there and have the same effect. That was sloppy. Alright. Alright, the lizard's not coming to play. Only the pumped lizard is coming to play. Sure. Monk will trade with this, and I will happily trade Young Pyromancer and an Elemental for that. Anji's Ravager is very scary. Like, especially since I just have another Monastery Mentor. I am totally good with this. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's annoying. Okay, sure. Lightning Bolt is not bad. I think I'm just jumping a hollow one in this turn cycle and playing the Mentor. And then next turn I'll do Lightning Bolt shenanigans. So the real question here is, like, how bad is the Cephalid Coliseum activation going to be? Ooh, not sure that you are supposed to play that land prior to activating the Cephalid Coliseum. Sorry, I'm being really nitpicky. I've played my opponent's deck a lot recently. So like, I have made some of the mistakes that they are making, and I have learned from them. Alright, so this returns a Vengevine, which is scary. Vengevine getting into play was about the worst case scenario here. Alright. So the mentors don't have good blocks. Am I actually winning this game? I don't think I am. The opponent has pumps on all 3 creatures. Yeah, I can like try to be alive at 1, but I don't think I actually win. Well, I ripped double removal spell, maybe. I have to make horrible, horrible blocks. That's not true. Can I make this one? 4, 7, 10. No, I do have to make horrible blocks. Shit. Alright. Pump 1. Pump the other blazing. Oh, but sack LED for 2 more damage. That's a totally great trade at this point of the game. Doesn't matter. Alright, I'm gonna concede here. Alright, I have a pile of surgical extractions, which are in the matchup. I like swords, I like Kaya, I like prismatic ending, I like zealous persecution. Surgicals are medium, but I probably need to play them. Cabal therapies are probably worse than Thoughtseizes in this matchup, because like I very specifically need to pick things out of their hand, and I don't want to repeatedly go into their hand most of the time. I want to take like the first enabler out and then not do anything else. I don't want IOK because of Hollow One. This would theoretically mean I need to cut 6 cards. This is probably a matchup where the impact is so on the early turns that I board the Faithless Lootings out. And then, how big are you? An X4. Well, not bad. I win with tokens most of the time. Tokens and going wide. Tokens and jump blocking. I don't know, I might need this. Let's junk that and see if we can get there with tokens. It's also possible I should just junk Ragavan because like the root wallows get in the way of it. This is a fine hand. I will keep this. So the question is like, is it Ragavan on 1 or is it Dragon Rage Channeler? And I think it's Ragavan. Although I could look at dashing Ragavan on 2. That's probably fine. Get this in here. I might be casting 2 spells in this turn cycle. I think I have enough threats where I just send that to the graveyard to start working on growing Dragon Rage Channeler. Although, like, in a vacuum, I don't mind a young Pyromancer. Alright, opponent has a Volcanic Island that I now know about. Alright, Urza Saga gets me Kaya. That's not bad. I'm like 10% heavier on the graveyard hate than I want to be, but, you know, whatever. Damage report? Oh, it's a Firestorm. Starting a Vengevine. Hold on. Oh, I see, and Basking Root Wallow. That's the other target. Sure. I am going to Surgical Vengevine in response. This can go wrong, but it also gives me the possibility of making this live. Yep. I'm gonna put that in a graveyard. And then Surgical Extraction will hit my graveyard, making it the 4th type for this. Alright, junk the Vengevines. Opponent's hand does nothing. Why was opponent's hand a keep? Okay, opponent has brought in 2 Lightning Axe and 3 Firestorms. I think this is probably the exact list that I was playing. Specifically like the breakthroughs I was playing before I boarded out. Okay. Good trick. I just totally made my opponent's hand blow up in their face. This red source is very good. Very, very, very good. Now, play Ragavan, just like actually play it out while holding up Lightning Bolt. And I can remove the lizard on my opponent's turn if they don't do anything, and then play Kaya and start chipping away at the graveyard so that Cephalid Coliseum is never a card that matters. I think unless an opponent draws something explosive here, this is game over. Oh. Are you just gonna like junk the whole hand and Firestorm for 3? You are. I mean, I'm good with that, but, like, how are you going to win the game without the Cephalid Colosseums? Like, you can't pump this. And the Vengevines are out, so you're, like, largely on Hollow One base strats. Or, like, an Ox to really, like, get going and do cool things. And now you took yourself off of those lines. Alright. Let's plus, get rid of the Basking Rootwalla, and then the other one doesn't really matter. Alright. Good stuff. And like now, because I have the Swords to Plowshares, I'm not really too worried about what my opponent has going on. I can also choose to exile the LED at some point. Okay, yeah, there's just a concession. And maybe I should have just exiled the LED immediately. Yeah, that might have been a misplay on my end. All good. I could also take the Chandra as one more removal spell on the draw. Like, my opponent has the chance on the draw to play out the LED on turn 1, which is kind of huge, meaning that Thoughtseize is worse, and I want to play to the board a little bit more. This is slow. What does it look like if I take out all my discard? I can get, like, removal spell, and then one of these. I'll take this as an X4. It's just nice against Firestorm. This is a very slow hand. I am not sure that I can keep this. Like, the Dragon Rage Channeler doesn't have anything to give it food. I'm gonna mulligan this. Alright, this is a keep. I am supposed to throw back either Bobble or Surgical, and I'm not sure which one. I think I'm going to throw back Bobble, rationalizing that in 3 or 4 draws I will probably do something cool. Alright, careful study. Rootwalla is fine. Note opponent does not have a mountain, so Anger is not providing haste currently. Arid Mesa will get bad lands if I play this land out. Okay. Lightning Bolt versus Prismatic Ending. Prismatic Ending and hit an LED that's played out. Otherwise, the cards are pretty similar. Lightning Bolt can kill a Vengevine. Either one of these kills a Hollow One. I guess let's just Prismatic Ending this. I don't have any, you know, big scary thing like a Zealous Persecution currently that just gives me the X for ones on the 1 toughness creatures. I am scared of Hollow Ones. I'm not overly scared of most of the other things that my opponent can do. But a Faithless Looting or Careful Study into a Hollow One or 2 is spooky. Yeah, that's fine. Why was your hand to keep? You kept on 7. I do not believe that my opponent's hand was a keep. Mentor is a fine draw. I will just pass the turn here with the ability to Lightning Bolt and then Surgical Extraction for mana. Alright. Do your thing. You're just gonna hardcast a hasty Anji's Ravager here. That's what the mana and pacing seems to indicate to me. Guess I Lightning Bolt in combat. I also might just like straight up extract those. Because I need to save 1 extraction for Hollow One, or for Vengevines. But I think it's fine to get bad lands here. And just take those out of play for this game. I also think it's just very possible they have another. Oh, I see. Alright, double Vengevine and Basking Rootwalla in hand. Anything changed about sideboarding? No. Land would be great. Zealous Persecution is quite good. That is going to be a good trick on my opponent's turn. If they miss on a land drop, they just play a Rootwalla, and then they'll probably pump 1 Rootwalla or the other, and then I get a 2-for-1 with Zealous Persecution. Yep. Now, in response to them pumping either one of these, I get to kill both. Yep. Alright, so there's the pumping. So this will be white and black. Kill both. Good stuff. I know opponent has double Vengevine, which makes my Kaya slightly awkward, as it like pluses to 4 loyalty. Another one. You remember at the beginning of the game when I threw back that land, rationalizing that I would either draw a land or like a playable other threat? I remember that too. I was a fool. Okay, well, I don't mind the Swords to Plowshares. That's insurance versus Avengevine. But I would really like to play my 3-drops that will win the game in a few turns one way or another. Ooh, 6 cards in graveyard. 6 cards in graveyard, not 7. Yep. There's even a world where I have to like surgical extraction something out of their graveyard to keep them from activating this. Young peasy. I will just be casting that. It puts me shields down for some stuff. I also think my opponent probably could have just hard cast Avengevine and just like gotten in there. If it gets removed, it gets removed. But like paying 4 mana for, you know, your mini Reality Smasher is totally legit. If it dies, then like it can come back later, or it's something that can be returned via Cephalid Coliseum. And by just like throwing them both into the graveyard like they're probably going to do here, they are setting themselves up for just a devastating blowout. Yeah, this is going to be gross. Oh man, there's another one. Yep, that's good. And then I'll wait for them to put a second creature on the stack, and then I will extract them. Surgical Vengevines. Always yield. Oh my god. They have all 4 hollow ones in hand. What the fuck? I played this game so well. And my opponent just had 4 hollow ones. God damn it. That's frustrating. Some shit. I literally do not believe this. I'll go to 3. Does this get me out of this? Might get me out of this. I'll math it out on my opponent's turn. So I remove 1 fully. I make a jump blocker. That's an LED. Alright. The hollow ones come in. One of them eats the Swords to Plowshares. I'll make an elemental and remove that. Then I will cast a Zealous Persecution. This increases the power of my team and shrinks your team. Unfortunately, I have to just jump in front of all of these. So this trades, then I get 2 chump blocks. Man, I could have beaten 3 hollow ones. 4 was some shit. Don't have anything in my graveyard, right? Alright. I will concede. I'm very happy with how I played that game. Does not matter if your opponent has 4 hollow ones. This is true in Legacy and in Vintage. Alright, round 4. Opening hand is awkward. Still probably a keep. It's threat dense, and assuming I find anything that allows me to start growing these Dragon Rage Channelers, the hand's quite good. Let's fetch. I think I need a basic mountain here. I have my other colors, but I just can't afford to get Wastelanded off red, since like I really need to play this as my follow-up next turn. Okay, sure. Chalice is good. Alright. Don't really have a lot going on now. Send them. I can convert any 1-drops I draw, well, any non-creature 1-drops I draw into monk tokens later, so it's not like the end of the world or anything. Alright. How bad is this? Oh, it's bad. Thought-Knot Seer takes my mentor and makes the rest of my hand significantly worse. Okay. This is a redraw and some selection. You go to graveyard. Look at a random card in your hand. An Endbringer. Spooky. You don't fly yet. Guess that's my turn. Well, actually, that's not so bad, right? This is the second red source for Bedlam Reveler. Although Bedlam Reveler is a little small here. Yeah, that... Oh. Sure. Now Endbringer is a real possibility. Oh. Okay. Did we just use Grim Monolith Okay. That's all fine. Gonna say, like, we just made a Grim Monolith and then made a Matter Reshaper. I'm gonna be mad on behalf of my opponent. Huh? You're 1 cheaper for each instant and sorcery. So you're 1 cheaper. I can make you 2 cheaper. And you still cost too much mana. I am going to go ahead and eat this into the Chalice of the Void to make Bedlam Reveler cheaper. I don't have a lot of time before I am just dead. And so I have to try to make this castable. It still costs 6, so it's still not castable. But like with that Endbringer coming, I am just dead so quickly. Yeah, I go to 1 here. You're still not, yeah, yep, alright. Unseed. So I guess let's sideboard in all the mid-rangey stuff again. Prismatic Ending is still good against Chalice, so I think I'll keep it. Zealous Persecution is still probably okay as a finisher. I'd probably go down on some amount of discard and play to the board. Do I do the therapies again? Man, some showcase of Cabal Therapy, huh? I think I'm just gonna junk the Bedlam Revelers here, rationalizing that I will go wide and kill my opponent with like a Zealous Persecution turn or something most of the time. This is fine. Funky. Alright, am I gonna get like Chaliced? A Grim Monolith, sure. Go, monkey, go. Alright, now I get the Ragavan trigger. It is an Olabog. This is an exile, right? This is an exile? Yeah, it's in exile, so I never have to worry about that. That is fantastic news. The Ragavan here allows me to accelerate out into a Monastery Mentor prior to something like a Thought-Knot coming down and just taking it, which is super cool. Alright, 5 mana. Reality Smasher. Are you attacking? That is the question I have. Okay. Oh, you are attacking. Oh, I'm gonna hit like a truck back. Weird turn in terms of like how this mana works. I think I just attack with both of these and see what I flip with the Ragavan, rather than like go in for a Zealous Persecution this turn. Hit for 4. Opponent goes to 10. Ooh, a Walking Ballista. And cast that for X equals 2. Straight up might just be better to cast Chandra though, and use that as a gain 5 life spell that does 2 damage. It also just makes me another creature for Zealous Persecution purposes. It's super weird to just throw away a card like this, but I think with the Ragavan on board, it makes sense. Ooh, I can also just plus for red and make the Walking Ballista. Is that better than 2 damage? Certainly equal to 2 damage. I don't know that it's better than 2 damage. I'm just gonna take the 2 damage. I'll not cast that. Yeah, and if this Reality Smasher doesn't attack, that is a big win for me. Because that means I have an active Planeswalker. Yavimaya. Sure. Matter Reshaper is fine. My Planeswalker is dead. Unless I chump. If I chump, I can get another activation. How do I feel about that? Good with it? My opponent's so close to dead if I don't chump. But they're also so close to dead if I do this, so I'm good with this. Alright, I am real good at drawing lands. So I probably want to fetch prior to activating the Chandra. I'll just get a scrub land to cover my bases, I guess. Plus a Dragon Rage Channeler. I think I just want the direct damage. I only have 1 card type, yeah. I'll take the direct damage there. If I attack with both creatures, my opponent blocks Ragavan. These are going to trade. If my opponent blocks Mentor after I Zealous Persecution, they don't trade. My opponent's more likely to block Mentor, I think. Get in there. White. Black. God, Zealous Persecution is good. I take half of my opponent's life total. My opponent gets a Spatial Contortion. I get a treasure. And the game has ended. Good stuff. Now we have to do that on the draw, which is a little harder. Are my Dragon Rage Channelers good if I take out this much discard? They might not be. I don't know if this makes sense, but let's make this swap on the... Oh, no, these aren't really great either. They're so slow. These are worse against Chalice, though. These trade better later on in a game. I don't know. See if we just get stomped. This is a fine opener, although it won't be very good against Chalice. Otherwise, I just have the ability to lead on triple basic if that's something that I... Excuse me, if that's something that I want to do. Alright, tapped Cloud Post. I am good with that. Okay. I think I will lead on basics here. Grab a basic mountain. Play Dragon Rage Channeler. Play Bobble. Basically, no matter what, it's going to the graveyard. And then... Oh, maybe I want to wait on that because of Thought-Knot Seer specifically. But it'd be so hard for them to Thought-Knot Seer this turn. It would involve, like, Saltland, Grim Monolith. Yeah, but I should have waited. Alright, it is just a Matter Reshaper. I think I can wait a turn to get that out of the way. And that saves Swords of Plowshares for a Reality Smasher if my opponent plays one. I am good with this situation. This line is specifically bad against Walking Ballista, though. I don't know how many of those my opponent is actually playing. But they are spooky. Alright, Vesuva will copy Cloud Post. And we'll see how bad it is. It is a Karn. I am not worried about the Karn in this turn cycle. Alright, yeah, they are getting a Walking Ballista. That's okay. Savine's Reclamation will do some work in cleaning that up. They have 7 mana, so they can do a Walking Ballista for X's 3, maybe for X's 4. Does that just mean I want to try to go as wide as I can this turn? I think so, and then like I'll flashback Savine's Reclamation and make it work from there. Single white to flashback, it is. I can just like play around getting wastelanded this game, I believe. I think I have a second mountain. I do. Alright. I think I want to Swords of Plowshares this. Just exile it so I don't give my opponent the card. Although, you could make arguments in other directions. Alright, Surveil. Ooh, Prismatic Ending. How do I feel about that? This is only 2 card types. Oh, instant plus sorcery. This is very good. I'll put that into the graveyard. Then the instant goes to the graveyard, turning this into a 3/3. Alright, this was very good. So, this kills Karn. This attacks you. The rest are summoning sick. So now the Walking Ballista can do some work against my young Pyromancers, but it can't actually kill the Dragon Rage Channeler. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess it could kill the Dragon Rage Channeler. Alright, a Walking Ballista for X's 4. Alright, I lose my duders. I think the way this turn looks is I just trade Walking Ballista for Lightning Bolt and my 2 Elemental tokens. I just don't want my opponent to have the option to keep that thing around and pump more mana into it. Yep. As expected. Urza's Bobble can just go to graveyard. Land. Front side of Savine's Reclamation will return a young Pyromancer. Surveil again. Faithless Looting can go to the bin. And I get to send in 3 damage. Opponent is at big mana time though, so like things can happen that are very unfortunate. Alright. Big mana. What you got? Chalice of the Void does not scare me. Endbringer backed by Chalice of the Void though is scary. Sure. Static Ending does not answer an Endbringer. It can answer a Chalice for 2 mana. Alright. Yeah, this is a little annoying. 1, 2, and we're doing it for this much because it's less than or equal so that it doesn't get countered by Chalice on 1. So we are essentially overpaying for this spell. That land good. That land allows me to flashback Savine's Reclamation, but the Endbringer is just going to be picking off young Pyromancers left and right anyway, so I think I just throw this into the graveyard. I want to hold this Faithless Looting to pitch to this Faithless Looting later. Let's send this in. I do not have a lot of time to beat this Endbringer. This thing just has so many abilities. It can just blank this, it can kill my Young Pyromancer token and my elementals. Fuck. Swords of Plowshares isn't out to this anymore. Well, awkward. Same line as last turn. Alright, what do we surveil? Lightning Bolt, that is no good currently. I am very, very specifically digging for Swords to Plowshares. Now my opponent can just pay some mana and blank this attack, or alternatively they can just draw a card. Looks like they are going for the card here, which is reasonable. Like, they have some big haymakers in their deck. I think my opponent is quite favored here. Alright. That doesn't help. Alright, they're just going to take a card draw now. Yeah, that takes a Faithless Looting. And just in case you don't know, you untap this every turn. My opponent can also just like turn the corner and become the aggressor at any point once they are done derping around or drawing cards, and it will be very good. Like, they can just ping this elemental token and then crash in for 3/4 of my life total. Alright, you're at 15. And I am not proud of what I'm about to do here. Look away. Look away, YouTube fans. Oh wait, hold on. How is this worded? Oh, do you just do it again? Okay, I can copy it and choose a new copy. So I'm going to pick the top Urza's Bauble. I hate Urborg and Yavimaya on Magic Online. Now that goes into the graveyard. Yes, I am casting this card. Alright, I will copy it, and I'll choose a new Urza's Bauble. So then during my opponent's turn, I will crack both of these, and then I can play around a Thought-Knot Seer. Okay, my opponent is just going for cards, which I think I'm happy about. Like, I'm losing, but I'm not losing immediately with the way that my opponent is playing. Like, they are playing this, like, long, grindy game, when I think if they just, like, go and play the short-term, like, get them dead game, it kills me pretty easily. Like, you know, that could have been an attack for 5 damage. Regardless, I think anything is a path to victory for them. But, I could be taking 5 more damage this turn. I could have been taking 9 more damage this turn, rather, because I'm actually getting a block out of this elemental. Alright, I get 3 draws this turn, but I think I am just conceding. Alright, Bauble, Lightning Bolt, Bauble, Scrubland, Mentor. Realistically, this is not going to get there. I'll click on, though. Play a Mentor. Do my obligatory attack for 3. And pass the turn. I can Lightning Bolt a Matter Reshaper on my opponent's turn. Just start killing me. Just start killing me, please. Okay. I can concede to the Eye of Ugin. There is not a world in which I beat, like, Eldrazi and Walking Ballista and such here off that card, and I don't have Wastelands to remove it. Is this the point where we hit 04? Ooh, yeah, this is the point where we hit 04. Let's drop. Drop. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Well, I knew it was going to be bad, but I did not think it was going to be, like, 04 bad. Like, when you're playing a deck in the Mardu colors, like, you're doing so for fun, not because it's good, right? Like, unless you are, you know, something like a Mardu Reanimator deck where, like, okay, you're splashing white for a couple of sideboard cards, but, like, playing a fair non-blue mid-range deck is oftentimes just a bad idea in Legacy. Very few exceptions notwithstanding. You know, something like Maverick is totally reasonable. But I thought that, like, we had enough synergy in the deck that, like, we would steal some wins by going wide, and we got some rather impressive game wins. But I mean, sometimes you just get 4 hollow ones in one turn, and, like, what the fuck are you supposed to do about that? As far as deck construction, the idea was fine. After seeing the Ragavan in play, there should have been 4 of them. Like, Ragavan to ramp into this stuff was really good. So, like, Ragavan attack allows you to like go like Young Pyromancer into Cabal Therapy because you have 3 mana and then you can flash it back immediately. And that sort of acceleration is really valuable. Or it lets you go like Ragavan into Mentor and then you start like spamming off stuff. I felt like Bedlam Reveler was too slow in this deck. There aren't quite enough instants and sorceries for this to be the delve threat that I wanted. Conceptually, I think my head was in the right space. But ultimately, that probably should have been like maybe 1 Gurmag Angler, or no, those 2 cards should be the other 2 Ragavans. That's what this is. Otherwise, I think the stuff is fine. Overall, the shell didn't feel overly impressive though. So I don't know that I would recommend messing around with this too much further. I thought about making this a 4-color deck so that like I could realistically play the good cantrips and like go harder with Young Pyromancer and Monastery Mentor, but at that point I would just be playing a much worse mana-based version of another existing deck, and I didn't really want to do that. But I hope it ended up being entertaining. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button, helps me out a lot. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 7 days a week. If you want to try this out, and again, I don't know if you should, but if you want to try it out, the link to Top Deck is in the video description, as is my donation information if you want to get your own brew on stream. Have a great rest of the day.